Hi, welcome to your masterclass for coming back into balance with your body, your mind, your soul, and even your heart. My name is Tori, and I'm so pleased and honoured that you have taken the time to join me today. The way that the next half hour or so will go is that I want to talk a little bit about my background and the reason I'm doing this work. And then I will share some information with you in regards to coming back into balance and a couple of practices or ideas for you to try. Then, right at the end, there will be an offer. This offer will be especially for everybody watching this masterclass. There's no pushy sales at all. But it's just an opportunity to be able to work a little bit more deeply together and really create these lasting changes in your life. So, a bit of background about me and why I started this work. The reason I started this work was to change other people's lives. I had my own experiences growing up that were quite difficult and pushed me in this direction. I had many years of uncertainty, not really much nurturing within the family environment. Didn't feel like I fit in very well. I had a lot of pain inside of me. A lot of this was due to being moved around a lot, different schools, moving areas without being able to say goodbye to my friends. There was a lot of shock around that as well, and trauma. Animals being given away, like my animals, without me even knowing. I would turn up at a new house and there we go, my animal had been given away and I didn't have any friends and had to start all over again. On top of that, I had a whole second family, which I felt very excluded from, didn't feel like I fitted in at all. And there was a number of other elements around that growing up era that I found very difficult and created a lot of trauma and pain within me. Coming into my adolescence, I had the same sort of patterns of friendships. I put up my guard after a certain amount of times taken away from friends, which meant that it was really hard for me to actually let anybody in, which started the cycle of pushing people away, having many different groups of friends so I could sort of just integrate into each one whenever I needed to, and I didn't have to get too close to anybody, which created quite a sad life for me, to be honest. I also reached for addiction, anything to distract myself, basically. And I became quite addicted to drugs, alcohol, any situation that made me feel my adrenaline going, so quite dangerous situations. And I suppose you would call me maybe a serial dater. I always wanted love, I always wanted a relationship, but just didn't quite know how to do it, so I could never stay with one person. Now, a few things happened within the school era, like most people's lives, probably. There's some trauma, there's bullying, there was some issues with friends, there was untrusting things that happened from my best friend towards me. And many of these built up and built up and built up. And I left school and I went to college, and I was starting to realize that this was now my life and I had the control in my life, but I was still so out of touch with who was inside of me. And I was still so conditioned by everything that had happened that I carried on these patterns, very unhelpful patterns, huge amount of pain, drugs and alcohol, friendship groups, boyfriends, pushing others away, feeling that numbness inside of me. And when I was old enough, I said, right, I'm going to move out now. But the funny thing was, even though I had the control over it, those patterns were still there. So for whatever reason, I couldn't stay in those houses for very long. And some of them were really like out of my control reasons, but it was still the same pattern. So I still moved house again and again and again, couldn't put any roots down, felt very unsettled. Again, lots of change. I changed my job quite frequently. I couldn't find anything that I was happy in, felt very unsettled. There was always an issue with something, and a lot of loss within my life. Now, I could talk for the whole hour probably to talk about my past, but that was a story. That was my past story, and I've probably not spoken about everything, but they're the main points, okay? So I decided one day, after living with somebody in Windsor, I was so caught up in these emotions and not knowing where I am and so lost, and I was, yeah, I didn't really know what to do. I ended up having a breakdown, complete breakdown, like anxiety, couldn't sometimes leave the house. I felt like a brick wall was built in front of the front door. Sometimes I couldn't even get out of bed due to my very bad depression. I was really feeling so uncomfortable in my body, and sometimes this anger would come up. Like, I had anger quite a lot throughout my life. This anger would like be inside of me, and I didn't know what to do, and I just couldn't release it somehow. And this breakdown caused me to have panic attacks. I would go to work. So I drove a lot for work, and some of my traumatic events were to do with car crashes. So I would start having flashbacks and panic attacks in the car. I would get to where I was meant to have a meeting with a client, and I just couldn't get out the car. I had made excuses. Some days were okay, other days were just so bad that I had to call in sick or pretend I was working from home, which luckily I did have the option to work from home quite a bit, and I wasn't micromanaged. So that work sort of created a lot of stress for me and a bit of a breakdown. Then I had a breakdown in my relationship as well. Just they couldn't handle it, and they actually weren't very good for me either. They were quite controlling and emotionally abusive, I would say. I always had things going on with my animals. My cat went missing. We had break-ins in the house. So, all of these things did not help. I decided then to go to the doctors because I really didn't know what to do. So they put me on a waiting list to talk to somebody. I had to talk, I don't know if you've experienced that as well, but I've had to speak to 5 or 6 different people before I even got to the counselling or the CBT. And you had to relive all what was going on again and again and again. And that was traumatic in its own. Anyway, they put me on medication as well, so I started taking those because I got to a point where I really wanted to take my life. I was having suicidal thoughts every day, quite strong, and well, if you've ever been in that situation, then you will know the uncomfortable feelings that you can experience. So I took the meds for a little while. They numbed me out. They made the thoughts sort of lessen a bit, and I could control my life a little bit. But it was just one whole numb line. It didn't really get to the root of it, and I knew that I had to do something different. So I changed my whole life. I broke up with the person I was with. I moved home, and luckily I had saved up some money because I knew I wanted to buy a house. So I was able to, with a little bit of help, put an offer on a house where I used to live. So it was near all of my old friends and family. And while that was all going through, I lived with my mum. Found a job in the area as well, which meant that I could change that. I'm just going to shut the curtains a little bit because I think you're just looking at the sunshine. I'm back. Hello. So when all that kind of happened, I realised I had to come off the medication to be able to get to the root of what was going on. I went back into my yoga. I went back into my meditation. I got some of my old course notebooks out. So I did a counselling diploma and holistic counselling diploma. I did a lot of spiritual training as well. So I got all of that out, and I started to do it all for myself, and journaling and walking out in nature. Now, I knew that actually I could do so much by myself, but there were some things that I had to have support for. So I paid for my own counselling, I paid for my own psychotherapy. I got back into some more courses when I actually had my head together a little bit more. And all of these really created such a beautiful space for me to heal. And when I had my house, the roots that I could put down, and that space was mine, that nobody else could take away from me, I managed to really pick myself back up and heal. Now, as amazing as that all is, and how much I have changed and transformed my life, and I have manifested this life that I've wanted for so long now, and it feels amazing. I sat down one day and I sort of thought, I knew I wanted to use this work to support others, and I have had clients in the past. But the really amazing thing now is that I had to go to all of these people to have all of these different modalities and tools. I've learnt them all myself. I've done trainings, I've done workshops, I've read books, I've used them all for myself. So I can now share them all in one place to create this change for people in a much quicker way without spending thousands and thousands of pounds, which is what I did. It actually took many, many years. One of the most amazing courses I went on was a 2-year shamanic training course for practitioners. Now, I got so deep with that, and I love it so much, and I do use it a huge amount with all my clients that I work with. But I don't think that just one thing works. Just talking about it doesn't work. Just sitting there and meditating doesn't work. Just doing yoga doesn't work. But all of them together, using modalities for the body, for the mind, the body, and the soul, really connecting in to what's around you and inside of you, really getting to know who you are without your conditioning, without all of the bits that have brought you to this point that I'm guessing is quite uncomfortable if you're watching this masterclass. Okay, so that's enough about me. I just wanted to give you that background so that you knew where I was coming from. You knew that I have experience as well as training. And my passion has always been supporting others. And I am dedicated to doing this for the rest of my life. And the clients that I've already worked with see results in just a few sessions. And by the end of our time together, their life is transformed. Now, I'm not claiming to be able to wave a magic wand and say what I'm going to give you is going to change your life. What I'm going to give you can change your life. The work has to come from you, though. That's where the magic is. The time, the devotion, and the work that you put in with the modalities that I share with you, and I support you. Okay, change has to come from you. Nobody else can change your life for you. I would also like to just say that it doesn't take a couple of sessions, although you see results in a couple of sessions. Our muscle memory has been so ingrained in us that it will take a good few months, if not a little bit longer, after we've worked together, keeping up the practices that we have worked with together. That will change your muscle memory. Okay, the more you react to a situation in a different way, the more that muscle memory is strengthened. You can create new neural pathways that your brain will pick out these new amazing positive thoughts, environmental things, and people. You'll start attracting people as well that fit into your new way of being. but it takes time and it does take dedication. But the amazing thing is it's possible, and with that you can change your life. My favorite thing is we are the stories we create. Our life is the story that we create. We have the control. We are the directors of our lives, of our stories. And if you don't like what you're living, you can change it. It comes with work, it does, but it's so worth it. So that's the reason why I put it all together. This yumminess, all of these tools, all of these practices can now be found all in one place. So you don't have to go out and speak to 10 different people. You don't have to go out and spend thousands of pounds on all these people. This course, this program that I've put together will incorporate it all. We also have one-to-one sessions, which will mean that we can work personally together and work through any of the biggest stuff that's coming up for you. And there's support if you decide to sign up to a longer session with me. It's a 3-month program. Then you'll have ongoing support throughout the whole time between 8 and 8 o'clock every day. So you're never alone, okay? But here are some amazing little tips I can give you for right now that you can start to use. Coming back into balance with yourself, with your life, with your body, your mind, your soul, and your heart. One amazing thing you can do today is so simple, and you already do it every day. Breath. Yeah. The breath that we have can control how we are feeling. Now, if you ever look at a baby breathing, they breathe from their stomachs. This is where we all naturally breathe from, until the stress, the tension, like of everyday life here, got control of us. All of our more negative and tough emotions, the anxiety, the panic, the shock, you normally breathe from your chest. Now, many of us walk through life without even noticing where or how we are breathing. So one thing I would like you to try is belly breathing. It's really simple. You can put your hand on your belly, or you can put something a bit like weighted on there if you want to lie down. And I want you to really feel your breath, and you can breathe in. It expands your belly out, and breathing out, it expands your belly in. Now, ideally, we want to breathe in and out of our nose, but if you feel like you have a lot of tension in your body or stress from the day, then open your mouth and let it out with a sigh. Okay, so the first one is belly breathing. And a really nice thing to do is to shut your eyes. You can just hold your hands like this, like a bit of a cradle underneath your belly, and just feel it. Okay, so that's number one to try today, to really help you bring yourself back into balance. And you can already see and hear that the way that I speak after I do that, I'm so much more relaxed with just a few breaths. Now, the second one to try, which I absolutely love and has helped me through so much and is still supporting me, is writing. Writing things out helps you get it out of your brain onto paper. It helps you clear your brain, have more clarity around things. So if you're a big overthinker, one really good practice is to set a timer on your phone for a couple of minutes and just write out whatever comes into your mind for those 2 minutes. Nobody has to look it over again. You could burn it or bury it or bin it afterwards if you want to. But Main idea of this is to get it out of your brain into the paper. Okay, so 2 minutes on the phone, write. The other thing with writing is journaling. So there's so many things and questions out there that we can ask ourselves. And we can really get to know who we are, what we want. So go on the internet or message me. Find out what questions you want to ask yourself. If you want support, as I said, reach out. But get it, write it, find out, dig deep. The more you write, the more it's out of your brain, the more clarity you'll have. And the more headspace you'll have for other things as well. So the other one, number 3, is body work. Body work gets you inside your body. Now, what I mean by body work is things like Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, dancing. It's just moving your body in any way you wish to. And the more you're doing that, the more you feel your body, feel what you like and don't like, notice where your tight points are, the more connection you have with yourself. So spend a few minutes. It doesn't have to be long. It really doesn't. You can put your legs up against a wall for a few minutes. That's body work. Close your eyes. Have that belly breathing that we just spoke about. You can incorporate it together. If you're more inclined to do so, go do 10, 15 minutes of yoga. If you have time, join a class for an hour. It'd be amazing. The main thing to try and do is to do things every day. So to do one class for an hour, but only once a week, isn't going to be as beneficial as doing 10 or 15 minutes every day. So find out what you want to do, even if it's putting one song on and dancing around the house. Okay, that's body work. Have fun with it, play with it, feel your body. What feels good, what doesn't? How do you want to move? What are the bits that are more uncomfortable trying to tell you? Okay. Now, this one, the 4th one, is going out in nature. Yes. I love this one. I do it every day. I do it even more now. I have a dog. But I love the trees. I love water. I love the sea. I go open water swimming myself a number of times a week, as long as the weather's good. Mostly because of the sea, rather than actually going swimming in the rain, because I don't mind that. I like to go out and spend time with trees. I like to garden. So what do you like to do out in nature? Okay. Is there anywhere that you could go for a short walk every day? Is there a beautiful park that you might be able to walk around? A woodland, fields, wherever you fancy? Are there any animals like horses or sheep or something like that that are around you that you could go and visit? Could you go to the beach? Could you go open water swimming in a lake, in the sea? Like, what do you want to do? Just get out in nature. This is a beautiful grounding practice. Try and do it every day. If you can't manage every day, then 3-4 times a week. And really notice what's out there. Really feel, see, smell everything. The trees, the plants. And be like mindful about it. Notice the seasons. Like Mother Earth will release, let go of all that isn't needed for the winter, and then grow again in the spring. Can you really feel that within yourself? Life and death of nature. We also go through life and death in ourselves every day, every month, every year. Okay? Get in tune with it, feel it. What can Mother Earth give you? Can you feel yourself being grounded when you're going out? And the last one is meditation. Okay, the best way to control your mind is to start building that muscle that will help you meditate. Okay, my advice to you is to just do a couple of minutes if you're not used to meditation. Literally 2 minutes every day. until you start to feel that that's quite easy. And then you can build up to 3 to 4 to 5. And then ideally, if you could get to 20 at one day, that would be amazing. But really start off small. The main things to remember with meditation is it's not about trying to clear your mind. Our minds are physically not able to stop thinking. Okay? It is about focusing so much on one thing that is all you're focused on. So you can focus on your breath in and out. You can count your breath. You can imagine you are somewhere beautiful and you're taking in all of those with senses when you're there. You can do heart and womb breath. There's so many things out there, but the main thing is that you are focusing on one amazing thing so that you're not distracted with other things. Just 2 minutes and build up from there. So they are my 5 amazing tips, simple tips to start trying today to bring you back into balance with yourself, with your body, your heart, your mind, and your soul. Enjoy them. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me. I am here for you. I am open, I am friendly, no judgment at all, and I'm here to help. I really want to support as many people as I can back into balance to enjoy this world. Okay. Thank you for listening. Now, this is my lovely offer to you. As I've mentioned a little bit briefly earlier, I have put together this amazing program for 3 months, and it will incorporate all these gorgeous, yummy tools, modalities, and practices that I have learned over the years. I've studied, I've picked up, I've used on myself. And now a lot of clients I have worked with over the last few years. So it's an online course. You'll have all this amazing content to look at every week, a mixture of meditations, of videos, of workbooks. You will also have one-to-one sessions with me. There'll be a number of different ones throughout the 3 months. A normal good time scale is every 2 weeks. And then we can check in and see if work on the really big stuff that's coming up for you and see if what blocks are presenting themselves and how I can support you through them. And then there'll be Tori in your pocket between 8 and 8 every day if you do want any support, if you have any questions. And that's through WhatsApp or email. If it's needed to, we could do a voice message, or I can quickly pick up the phone to you if you are really struggling with something. So it's very adaptable. Now, the online content is what the online content is, whereas the one-to-one sessions is more tailored. So I might give you practices after those sessions as well that are tailored just for you, or I might signpost you to somewhere in the course that would really help you with what you're trying to work through at that time. I have a special price for people that have watched this masterclass. So if you do jump on a call with me and you do want to go ahead with it, then say you have watched the masterclass and you get it for half price. Amazing half price. Now, there are different pricing options as well. So my thing that blocked me in the past was money and being able to afford things. And I don't want that to happen for other people. But like anything, I want to respect the course and the content I have put together. And these tools really will transform your life. So think of it as an investment. But I want to be able to support you in regards to the payment options as much as I can. So please don't be limited by money. It is an amazing investment for yourself to be able to change your life. And you will manifest the money if you are really ready to do this and you're really ready to put the work and the time in. It will happen in one way or another, and you have to trust that process. Okay, so if this sounds of interest to you, please book a call with me. It's a free 45-minute call where we can walk through everything that's going on for you at the moment, check that you are okay for the program, and get you signed up and into the program as quickly as possible to start to change your life. If for any reason I feel that maybe the program isn't going to be as supportive enough for you, or you feel maybe you want some more one-to-one sessions, then there are other options for that as well. Don't be shy, reach out. Now is the time. Change your life. Enjoy and learn these amazing tools that you can use yourself forever. Thank you so much for listening. I'm honoured you took this time, and I really hope that we can speak on a call soon. Blessings.